to another edition of Books, Art, Music, and More. Today is October 16th, but it might as well be January 16th. It's freezing out. Fortunately, the sun is there, but it's windy and cold and not so much fun. But anyway, it is fall, and with fall comes peculiar weather at moments, and we're going to be talking about all kinds of science stuff here. We're blessed with this remarkable author, artist, scientist. And yeah, because people say, oh, really? Yeah, really. And this is all part of Mass STEM Week, and Wednesday, October 22nd at the Brockton Main Library, free to the public from 5 to 8. And then there's planetarium events on that Saturday, October 25th. Those you really have to register for at, Brockton, www.brocktonpubliclibrary.org, and you'll be able to find that or check them out. Hopefully you spend an awful lot of time at the library because there's a whole lot that goes on, and it's free, and considering a lot of other stuff is expensive, it's kind of nice. Meanwhile, my name is Anne. This is Books, Art, Music, and More, and you can reach me at 774-297-4939 or at M as in Mary Beauregard, BEAU, or EGARD at Outlook.com. We highlight the talent, the interesting events that go on in this city, the interesting people that make them possible. We highlight nonprofits. We highlight talent of all sorts artistically. And we encourage and invite you to be part of this program. We always, be on the lookout, stay safe, stay well. That's one thing I keep on reminding people, my paranoia. This is Fire Safety Prevention Month, so everybody check their smoke detectors. Police. So meanwhile, without further ado, I'm just so excited about this individual. I know his mother, Pat Monteith, and so do an awful lot of you. But we have the pleasure of meeting scientist, artist, author, and much more, Barnas Monteith. So without further ado, I don't know if you want to start on your art, your books, or your buddy here.
Well, first, I'll start out by saying thanks, Anne. It was good bumping into you not very long ago.
Yes, last week or so. Yeah, it was great. Yes.
And that happened in part because the nonprofit that I'm here representing, which is very much South Shore based and does a lot of stuff in Brockton, is called the Center for Science Engagement. And we actually just got a grant from the Mass Cultural Council, which is why we were at that event together.
That's what I figured. I figured it was something to do with that. That's wonderful. People don't realize there are grants available out there, and you do not have to be a nonprofit. Being a nonprofit and having some sort of structure and certain conditions is more advantageous. But this is great. So let's talk about how you got that grant and all this great stuff you do. Yes.
Sure. Well. Okay. My story goes back a long way in the South Shore.
Yeah, a long way. You're not that old, so we don't want to hear it. You're not old at all, but that's another story. Yeah.
Could say decades, but I don't want to date myself here. But basically, my history is really related to this thing in front of us here. This is a phytosaur, which is this is a 3D print of a phytosaur skull. It's a little bit over 200 million years old. A skull of an animal that was alive during the same time as the dinosaurs, but was actually way more powerful. So a lot of people think that was the era of the dinosaurs, and they were the most powerful. They were the kings that period, but actually these phytosaurs were the kings. So this is what inspired me, which is why I ended up getting involved in science, why I got engaged as a scientist, was because of dinosaurs. So
and you got, as a kid, you were really into it, and then just, okay.
Absolutely, yeah. So I went on some dinosaur digs. I had the honor of getting some.
I just thought that was so cool.
Grants.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the Boston Museum of Science had actually a program with a guy who was really not very well known at the time named Dr. Jack Horner. And he later on became extremely famous because he was the person who was the inspiration behind the Jurassic Park book and was the advisor on the whole series of the Jurassic Park movies. So he's famous because he found the first dinosaur egg nests and really described what was then not really considered a real science, which was the maternal behavior of dinosaurs. He was the first person to ever do that. So he became extremely famous for that. And I went on dinosaur digs with him. So he trained us all.
I just find that terrific. So were you in college at this point? Or
I wasn't. I was just a kid. I think I had heard about the program in middle school.
Oh,
and,
wow.
Yeah, they still have these kinds of programs floating around. We're in Massachusetts. There's a lot of educational programs.
We want to
here.
keep it that way. Yes. Oh, that's great. Jeez.
So I had a lot of fun. I had so much fun, in fact, that I kind of took it seriously, and I said, well, maybe this could be a career. Obviously we know today that careers take lots and lots of different winding paths and go off and fork off into different areas, which mine has done. But I did get very interested in doing computer science mixed with dinosaurs, mixed with paleontology. And so I did that as a science fair at what was at the time the MIT State Science Fair and the regional science fairs, there's our regional science fair. It's called Region 5, and it's held at Bridgewater State.
Yes.
Very close to here.
Oh, yes.
And so I entered my project about dinosaurs, just kind of like this, related to this, for many years, won lots of awards, and then I ended up getting roped into that world. So I got roped into the world of project-based.
Willingly.
Exactly. Science-based education. So it was for me lots of fun. I mean, I ended up doing, of course, lots of real science. I did a lot of data science-based work on dinosaurs. And a lot of people are like, oh, isn't paleontology just picking up an axe and a couple of rock hammers and whatnot? And
I have to admit, that's what I pictured, yes.
Exactly, everybody thinks that. They think it's an old-fashioned, hundreds of years old science that many people don't think has progressed much. But actually today, it's all using AI and robots and
Isn't that incredible?
All sorts of sensors, non-invasive sensing technologies and all sorts of stuff. So, in fact, Jack Horner now, his career took a different path, and he's now making dinosaurs like Jurassic Park. Like he's actually taking chickens and reverse engineering their DNA, doing a lot of biotech work, and making them look just like dinosaurs. Basically, birds like chickens are dinosaurs. They're kind of classified as dinosaurs.
Okay,
so
all right.
He's kind of trying to make it real.
Raptors and everything. Wow, they seem so scary. Yes.
Well, I have chickens, and they look to me, their claws, at least when they scratch you, they might as well be velociraptors.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. I guess, how would I say, we're continuous descendants of what first started.
Exactly. So that's what I studied for a long time, and what I realized was that there were a lot of students around Massachusetts that are also interested in this kind of stuff. A lot of people have different paths. Some folks like robotics, they like rockets, they like chemistry sets and maybe blowing things up, which you're not supposed to do, but some people do it anyways. But that's a famous line from Gordon Moore, the guy from Moore's Law, who created basically Intel and the semiconductors. That his favorite thing with his chemistry set back more than 50 years ago, which you were allowed to do, was to just blow stuff up. People have fun doing that. What can I say?
The Sears and Roebuck's catalog, and I got a microscope. My sister got a telescope, and I remember the chemistry sets and whatever. Now, hey, if kids were learning through quote toys, and whatever, well, that's wonderful. Now, how old are all your students, or does it vary?
It's a big range. So
this is what I want to hear. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So all the stuff that we're doing, at least this program we're doing through the Brockton Library STEM Makerspace.
Sure.
Is you could be in pre-K, you could be 100 years old. It doesn't matter. The programs
this is
are very.
What we want to hear.
Exactly.
Yes. Lifelong learning and getting the kids started really young. So this event again is Wednesday, October 22nd, 5 to 8. But there's all sorts of activities with the library maker space. So now you're going to be there on the October 22nd?
I will be.
What's your buddy?
I didn't name him, but you can call him Fido because it's called a Fidosaur.
Okay.
Like a gigantic, would have been maybe many tens of feet long dog, your pet dog, called Fido the Fidosaur. But these guys, actually, the interesting story is that these guys might have been around the time when the very first eggs were laid. So we weren't quite sure whether or not these kind of animals laid eggs. Probably they might have, but we don't know for sure. But this was a very active field of research continue doing, or I continue doing this work with other groups at Harvard. And a lot of the work we did was trying to find the newest, the biggest, most, some superlative thing. We're trying to find the oldest eggs.
Isn't that, wow, talk about death,
We're hoping it could be a faster kind of learning curve than that. Because,
okay, well, I didn't think a couple of years was that.
Yeah. I think, for the students who go and get some experience for the first time,
yes,
they can start with simple stuff. You don't have to start with something like,
oh, no, I understand.
This doesn't have to be your ambition right away. But we are going to have these. We're going to have lots of equipment there. We're going to have not just the 3D printer at this STEM Week event.
Yes.
We're going to have lots of other robotics and lots of other stuff. So you could start at any point, wherever you want to start in the chain of learning or trying to understand engineering stuff.
That's what I think is great too, because you hear sometimes, class got full, so let's go at a different angle. I have a little list myself of different things I want to do, and so yeah, you grab at it. So I just believe this is wonderful. Now, can we go back to your grant for a minute?
Sure.
The Center for Science Engagement. Okay,
Exactly.
I want to make sure I'm saying it right. Okay, now this is for 2025. And you're reapplying for 2026? A little oversimplification, but generally, yeah.
Well, I was at this event because we were celebrating getting the grant.
So you received it.
Yep, during the 2025 funding cycle. During this cycle, we just received the grant. And so
okay.
now it's really going to be the program will really be starting these few months. We're ramping up, and it will be we'll be doing a lot more during 2026. So.
Okay, and am I to understand that most of it will be headquarters at the Brockton Main Library, 304 Main Street, or this is yes.
Yep, for these programs, I'm hoping we can do them around the state. I'm hoping we can do a few different locations. Because there just aren't too many places, or there aren't too many nonprofits that offer you the opportunity to play with a real industrial robot arm. There's a lot of toy robots out there. I mean, there's
I just think that's incredible.
Store.
And what that can allow people to do, because unfortunately we always hear horrible diseases and not yet a cure. And here you are going at another angle. Somebody's working on the cure, and you're saying, okay, this person has a disease, but we can help them, how would I say it, live a more productive life. Mm-hmm. And that I just marvel at that. So I commend you for the continued learning, applying these remarkable, I'm going to call them tools and machines and equipment, and then turning around and changing it so that it can apply to people, and a Center for Science Engagement. Now,
I was going to continue and say with the robot arm, that what we are planning on doing is kind of a combination, a hybrid approach between teaching some arts, a little bit of art history, art theory, and teaching something about both electronics and robotic AI or physical AI, which is extremely popular now, by using the robot arm to make paintings. So this is something that we will be doing. This was first generated with AI, and then we accented it with some human art on top.
I just love it. It kind of reminds you of Maine or Gloss
or
whatever.
It's kind of a weird, it's something you wouldn't typically see. There's obviously part of the bottom of the building is missing here, but it's like a building that's been flooded.
It was full.
But it's cool. It's kind of cool.
I think it's remarkable. And the color and the capture, and it looks like the sky, and it looks like they're in some sort of marsh or, waterfront. Okay, a vivid imagination. And art is just this. This is why this show is called Books, Art, Music, and More. Now, that one you painted, though.
Yes, I painted this, but the interesting thing about this was this had a few steps. So this was a photograph that we then applied a kind of a technique called neural art style transfer, in which we took a style of another painting and applied it on top of it. Then after we used some filters with artificial intelligence, then I hand painted it. So
I just think it's terrific.
Sort of these are coming from opposite sides. One was like generated by a computer, and then hand painted, and this was sort of a hybrid approach where it was partly designed and painted by AI, and then
look at this, people,
accented with the human touch. So we're trying to make or help students be a little bit less fearful and intimidated about technology and AI in particular. A lot of people think, oh my God, the whole world's going to turn into Terminator.
Exactly.
Terminator.
And there's always that, how would I say it, fear embedded for those that are afraid themselves. How would I say it? It's one of those things, it's coming, and there's good with it, and there's bad with it. Just like computers and everything else, and good and bad, because everyone said, well, I remember 25 years ago, oh, no one's going to need a library, there'll be computers. What do you see in a library now? Oh, I know, computers, and books, and activities, and whatever. Everything evolves if you want to go forward, and you want to continue lifelong learning. I mean, Barnas, you're just instrumental. I mean, here you create this nonprofit Center for Science Engagement. Let it be known that all this is starting here in Brockton, City of Champions, and it's just going forth. And that's incredible alone. What you're doing between the robotic arm, the 3D printers, this paintings, of course, like I said, the painting stuff is just so incredible. And look at this. He's making books, writing books, forgive me, for kids, and anyone can understand. And what I want to emphasize too, I love it when something is for kids, because we have to invest in our future. But I am so grateful that you're all inclusive and you don't care how old someone comes in here. And look at this, a young reader's guide to AI. And of course, my guy hears the ad and he's like, what's AI? And I said, artificial intelligence. And then you hear about somebody that's using it to help operate or to help someone be able, that wasn't able to move. Now, can, what I say, due to paralysis, some serious injury, now suddenly might be able to go forward in some capacity and improve the quality of lives. I'm sorry, I just believe that's what they're, and then this one, I love this. See, the sooner you start, the better off you are. This is a young professor, a young artist, a young writer, a young scientist. This is great. Yes, one of his winning science fair participants in recent history, adventures in paleontology, and the various prizes he's won internationally. Okay. So this is all. Oh, this is available too. People can buy these.
Well, I'm here to say that these are also at the library. You don't have to buy them.
Okay, you can take them out. I was hoping you were leading up to that. And what do you anticipate doing between, like you said, your headquarters, for so to speak, is going to be the maker space in the library for now, until
Correct.
we give you a very large building. We have a few that are empty. Would you want to go looking around?
I actually might want to go do that, yeah. I mean, there's so many students that need to be served by some sort of programming like this.
Couldn't agree with you more. And it's not like you're not getting science in school, but how would I say it? It's sort of like the student that excels in a particular sport, and then what do? They get him a trainer, or a special coach. And this is what this becomes for individuals in so many, how would I say, categories. That's what I cannot emphasize. They're showing these kids having a great time here, and let's see, there's spaceships going up here, and because his mother is wicked into space, and I just think that's so cool. And I mean, I would go up in a heartbeat, even though I'd be afraid out of my mind. It's not one of those things you're going to say, man, I wish I didn't do that. It's going to say, I'm so glad I did, even though I was scared out of my mind. And
well,
yes.
It's getting safer now. I just want to say we just learned that a few days ago. That
I feel, I wasn't, implying that it wasn't, I guess, scary regardless, because it's not something you're used to. I mean, not everybody comes home and says, oh, I went up in space today. They might say they spaced out.
Exactly.
And
that happens a lot.
And here, very easily sometimes, and all this tremendous support, NASA internships, and you help individuals with that aspect, and you're involved in the nature and protecting the environment naturally and preserving it. And okay, this is just a little aside. I went to a conference for 2 days in Connecticut, and I was right near Dinosaur Park.
That's
but
great.
I couldn't go. It was killing me. Of course, I went for the conference. But anyway, have you done that?
I have, but you brought something up that's interesting. We now have, in Massachusetts, we have an area out in Western Mass that does have dinosaur tracks, and just these past few years, we had a program with the state legislature. We had kind of lobbied a few folks to develop something called the State Dinosaur Initiative. And that ended up becoming a bill, which ended up passing, and I was on the committee.
All right, this is what you want to hear again, yes.
And now we've actually got a place that you could visit if you want to do field trips, if you want to just, jump
Yeah,
in.
how terrific is that? Yes.
It's fantastic.
What town are we in when that place? I have heard basically of it, but not enough. I mean, is it like near Springfield?
It's kind of near Mount Holyoke. So.
Oh, okay. So we're going, a little slant. I was born in Holyoke a million years ago, but that's another story. But anyway, so I have a general idea where Mount Holyoke isn't in Holyoke, by the way, which I think is weird that they call it Mount Holyoke, but whatever. Yes, but no, so that's wonderful because there's a lot of Department of Conservation and Recreation, opportunities there, camping and whatever going over there. So that's wonderful.
So we do now have a state official dinosaur. Our state fossil before it used to be just generically the dinosaur track, but now it is the Podokesaurus, which is a little dinosaur that looks just like the ones at the beginning of Jurassic World that kind of are running around and attacking.
Oh, yes, and little teeny. They appeared little teeny, yes. And the little girl says, "Oh, I don't have enough for all of you." And they just come swarming at her, yes.
Exactly.
Yes. Wow.
So we have, dinosaurs like that were native to Massachusetts a very long time ago, and that's our state. So we voted on it, as a state, we voted and selected the Podokesaurus. And so now there's actually programming. We put together a website, and some elements of it got moved around. So now students can experiment. They can do AI and VRML stuff, virtual reality stuff with.
Oh man, I remember
the state dinosaur. It's a lot of fun.
Wow. Wow, so did you hear that, gang? Okay, there's a test at the end of the show. No, I'm not going to put just spelling these words is amazing, and saying them, but no, that's great. So again, see how you're following the track. You can write a book and win a bunch of science awards, and nationally and internationally, and then you can go on and go on a dig, and then you can go on, and this you can all do in your life, and here is Barnas Monteith going to show you how to do that at 304 Main Street in Brockton, not only on Wednesday, October 22nd, but several times in the oncoming months, both in 2025 and 2026. And we're going to have him on the show if he wants to be on the show more often. But I hope people realize, am I to understand you can go to the schools too and talk to students?
Oh, well, that's our plan. That's what we intend to do. Yeah, we actually, part of what we've been doing out of the STEM Makerspace and the Center for Science Engagement is to mentor students. So we take on actually a select group of self-selected students. If they want to do it, we'll work with them to help them develop science projects.
Remember that, guys. If you want to do it, yes.
We have a cohort of students right now from Brockton that are working right now on the Presidential AI Challenge, which is a brand new thing. It's like before we promoted science fair. Now there's an AI type science fair called the Presidential AI Challenge.
So it's a total specific. Wow,
about AI.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
And we have a whole bunch of kids from Brockton that are interested in doing projects on AI.
More great kids in Brockton doing great things.
And they'll be at this event as well. So if you come, you can meet some of those
and
great
the age
students.
group with this?
This is, there's a few different tracks, but
all right.
you could do middle and high school, or you can actually be a teacher and enter the teaching track. So
that's wonderful. So they have an opportunity also.
Absolutely.
Oh my God! No, this is wonderful. This is I'm waiting. I'm getting nervous here because I'm waiting for go beep beep beep. No. So and when did this kick off?
This just started this year. It's a new presidential initiative. So I believe the announcements just came these couple months.
Okay.
And students have to get their projects done these next few months and put them in January. So we'll know the announcement. We'll hear the announcement, I'm sure, very soon about that the activities are being planned.
Okay. Oh, that's great. So you've already gone into the schools. I mean, do you sleep? No. No, really. This is remarkable. Now, since you've been doing this for some time, does anything sticks out?
Since I've been doing science fair both at MIT for a few decades and regionally, so I'm now working more with our South Shore Region 5, is that a lot of students will tend to work on whatever the latest and greatest and best technologies are. So what you mentioned about using AI to solve problems, like solve a medical problem or solving a community problem, that's really what is the key kind of thing that we want students to take away from all this, is that you're using science or engineering to solve a problem. It's not just about science for the sake of science or engineering because it's fun and cool and you can make all sorts of whiz-bang fun things with LEDs or rope motors or whatever. But we want students to realize that they're solving, that they can solve a real problem.
And that, I think, is terrific. And I know I witness this periodically. And, of course, your mother and yourself probably too, the robotics that the students at Brockton High, and they ended up going to compete. And I just thought that was incredible. And I see that on PBS. So you can, and again, once again, highlighting Brockton schools, highlighting individuals. And again, when you're so, how would I say it? When you're so interested in learning, so capable of doing a particular situation, taking advantage of an opportunity. Because often we hear, oh, there's nothing for the kids to do. Well, that is not the case if you're talking to Barnas Monteith here. Because what I thought was great too is you said that anyone can come. Anyone can start getting involved, and there's various facets. If you go into AI and go, but I love this instead, or I love a component of AI, this whole robotics situation, and I'm way older than you, and years ago, there used to be this cartoon, it was so great, the Jetsons. Anyway, and we thought everything was going to be like that in the 21st century. Said we were going to go back to nature and whatever. But anyway, we were kind of both on the right track. It all came together. And this is what I really want to highlight about is everything you've come together. Look at this.
Oh, and speaking of coming together with regard to project-based learning and science, we've had from Brockton, we've had several students that we work with that have gone on to outstanding success. So we actually had several Brockton High School students work with us on AI projects, one of which won a top award in our state-level science fair and ended up going off to Yale and creating her own science fair. We had another student who was so interested in AI that he did a project, just like me, he did a project on fossils and AI. And he ended up winning, getting sent to the International Science Fair, and his work was patented. He went to Stanford, he got a job at Amazon, Microsoft now, and he actually came back to work with us a little bit at the center.
Now, that is what you call, and the lastly, all this giving back to the community, because this is the epitome of giving back to the community. And I'm joking with Pat, his mother, Patricia Monteith. The apple does not fall far from the tree. And here he is, brilliant scientist, brilliant artist, and an author, his mother's an author too, and bringing this all back and giving it to the community. I mean, again, this is the STEM event that's taking place during STEM Week in Brockton at 304 Main Street, the Brockton Main Library. It's free to everyone, 5 to 8 on that Wednesday, and then there's planetarium free on, which one of them is about dinosaur activity, which I think is neat. And that is on Saturday, October 25th. But what we really need to understand here is this is the beginning of more and more great opportunities for everyone in all various age groups, thanks to this gentleman and the Center for Science Engagement. Thank you for joining us at Books, Art, Music, and More. This guest will be back, and I'm going to let him know about other places he can be. I can't thank you enough. Barnas Monteith, author. I think this is so fascinating. 3D printer, paleontologist, artist, and leader. Thank you.